Joe Biden is eyeing a second chance at the White House, but the ghosts of past are back to haunt him, including allegations of corruption. The Bidens allegedly received $20 million from foreign actors based in Russia, Kazakhstan, and Ukraine during the time that he was vice president. Republican chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, has released the third bank record memo. The documents revealed how President Biden's family members and their business associates received millions of dollars from foreign oligarchs during the time when, as we mentioned, Biden was vice president. Now, let's take a look at the money trails that have been outlined in the memorandum. In February of 2014, Russian billionaire Yelena Baturina transferred $3.5 million to a shell company controlled by Devon Archer and Hunter Biden. 2 months later, in April, a Kazakh oligarch wired money amounting to the exact price of Hunter Biden's sports car to a bank account used by Archer and Biden. Referring to the latest memo, in a statement, the Oversight Committee chairman said, quote, during Joe Biden's vice presidency, Hunter Biden sold him as, quote, the brand to reap millions from oligarchs in Kazakhstan, Russia, and Ukraine. These details emerge after years of the U.S. president denying that he had any knowledge about his son, Hunter Biden's business dealings or the millions of dollars involved in business transactions made by using his name during his tenure as vice president. Okay, for more on this, we are now being joined by Daniel Gertrude from New Jersey. He is an American business analyst and economist. Daniel, welcome back to WION. So if you were to advise the Bidens, let's say Hunter Biden and his business associates, when you see these bank records and when you had them in front of you, would you say that they were in trouble, that this trail ultimately seems like it will lead to Joe Biden?
It may very well lead to Joe Biden. Look, anytime that you have financial transactions such as this, there's always a trail. So there is a way to trace where money came from, point A to point B. So now we have a situation where we have to ask some questions. The first question is, why would these foreign countries, Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, be paying Hunter Biden? The obvious answer appears to be for some type of influence related to his father. So now the question becomes, did Joe Biden know, number one, and did Joe Biden do anything as a service related to these payments? And that's where I think it really gets gray. Did the vice president at the time do favors for foreigners? And that's the question that we ultimately have to answer here.
And do you think not just politically, but with the paper trail that the Republicans are following, because they promised that they'll follow the money, they're going to follow the connections, despite the fact that the White House says that this is old news, it's an innuendo, it's a distraction. Do you think with the paper trails that we have and we'll be seeing, some sort of resolution or conclusion can ultimately be reached? Or are we going to stay in this gray area? And maybe that's why Joe Biden is so comfortable answering these questions, frankly, untruthfully.
Well, the question here is, can it be traced to Joe Biden in some way? I think the paper trail will be quite clear that Hunter Biden and perhaps other people in the Biden family did receive money. You know, one of the questions here, too, is if they received money, did they pay tax on it? Presumably, they didn't get this money for free. Some type of service in some way was provided. That being the case, that's taxable income. So I think the trail is not just about was money paid. How about whether taxes were paid on that money? So you could have multiple levels of crimes here, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it links directly to Joe Biden. Even though it may appear that way, why would these people pay all this money to Hunter Biden? And we may be able to logically conclude to influence the vice president at the time, but we need more than that. We need to actually prove it. And Joe Biden is entitled to the presumption of innocence like anyone else.
Okay, Daniel, Gertrude, thank you so much for joining us from New Jersey, and we look forward to talking to you again very soon.
Thank you.